Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Heavy from Heavy Hammer Bushcraft once again. User, check this out. Told him I would tag him in this video because he or she or they specifically requested this video. They wanted to know about Nessmuk's bullet pouch, or my version thereof. Size-wise, this is actually probably a little bit smaller than what Nessmuk would have carried. However, it does have the sheath stitched on the back. It does have a knife. My Nessmuk, my Condor Nessmuk is not currently in here. This is one of my custom knives. Much bigger than a Nessmuk, and I don't think he would approve of this knife. But I enjoy it. It does good things that I needed to do, so it is what it is. And it's what I like to carry on the back of this. So, Nessmuk himself would have carried a lot of fishing equipment and such in his bullet pouch. From what he said in his writings, it was mostly lines of hooks and such like that. He said he carried this nearly as much as he wore his own hat. Don't do a lot of fishing here where I am. Big fishing here is bass fishing, and as much as the internet is going to hate me for this, I'm not a big bass fisherman. I much prefer trout. And, well, a little hard to come by here where I am, but if anybody knows anywhere in West Tennessee to go trout fishing, I'm all ears because I miss my fly rod. Also, you may notice that, yes, my hair has slightly changed since the last video I did. There's, you know, I got a little irritable with the hair after the camping trip, but yeah. Anyways, my personal version of Nessmuk's bullet pouch. I do carry this whenever I go camping. I don't keep a lot of stuff in here, but I keep quick, easy access stuff that I want, and I want to be able to get a hold of fairly quickly if I need it. I do have a small fire kit in here. It's a Hudson Bay tobacco tin. This is my Flint and Steel Kit. This has my flint, my steel. I do keep well, it does have a lens on it for solar ignition. And a bunch of char cloth, some birch bark, and I think I keep a stick or two of fat wood in here as well. Always good to have a backup fire kit. That one's just a little guy that I can keep right here. It's on me. If I need a fire right now, I have it. I can start a fire. Compass. It's not a Sunto, but it is a Sunto knockoff. This is pretty much a lot of navigation stuff in here because just in case you get lost or you want to go scout, I can throw this pack on, throw this little bag on, dunk, and go. I don't have to carry my whole pack with me. I don't have to dig through a bunch of other stuff to get to my nav stuff. I do carry a large lens in here. It's not a Fresnel lens, it's a magnifying lens for fire starting as well. It does work better than the one on the Hudson Bay tin. But if you're not familiar with solar ignition fire, it probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to carry one. This one is large. I believe it's a 10X. I could be mistaken about that. But I do keep that in there in a chamois leather pouch because, well, scratch lenses don't really work very well. I have my rapid deploy ridgeline in here, about 30 feet of paracord. Got a couple of pre-tied prussics on it for hanging the tarp from. That stays in there because that's generally one of the first things I set up if I'm doing any kind of normal camp without doing a raised bed or something like that. And even then, a lot of times I will still use that. Cotton bandana, bright red. Good Lord. Bright red cotton bandana. I can take that and hang it from a tree and scout around an area. Like I said, this is a lot of my navigation stuff. Just because, I can get away from camp and scout with just this, and I don't need to carry a full pack and a whole bunch of gear and a whole bunch of stuff that I probably don't really need. Yes, and life's major necessity, camp toilet paper. Because I always want to know where it is, and I need it handy. That's pretty much the contents of mine. I will throw a little ditty bag into my little ditty bag in here. Again, it doesn't have the same contents as Nessmuk's, but it does have relevant gear to me. Again, I don't do a lot of fishing, so there's much less fishing stuff in here. If I were to carry my 1022 with me, I would carry some 22 long rifle ammunition in here. Depending on what time of year it is, I may carry some other amenities as well. Nessmuk also kept what he called a vial of pain medicine in his bullet pouch. Your guess is as good as mine what that was that he carried for pain medication. Being the time frame that it was, it very well could have been laudanum or opium. I'm not going to try to wager on it. The man did have TB very badly, so it could have been anything. But I don't really carry much of a first aid kit, and that's probably a failing on my part more than anything else. I do carry sticky salve with me, and usually some Gorilla Tape, and generally if I can't patch myself back together with sticky salve and Gorilla Tape, well, we've got a problem, Houston. So this is also, I did make this. It is buckskin leather, acorn tanned. I did not tan the leather, I did buy the leather. And it's just a leather strap, non-adjustable. Stitched, it's actually stitched with sinew. I believe I did this one with, I know I did the sheath with sinew. And yes, I did the sides with sinew as well. So this is hand stitched by me, saddle stitched, the whole thing. Fairly easy to make. You got to pick a side, just pick how big you want it, what kind of shape you want it in. And what I did is I took a big buckskin that I had that was about 6 feet, I think 6 square feet, and I drew half the design and basically made a clamshell. So it is not seamed at the bottom, so I have no worries of anything ripping at the very bottom of this and falling out. Nessmuk's pouch, he said it had a very stiff leather sheath, very stout leather sheath on the back. I used buckskin. Once again, that's not a knife I take in and out very often. So the sheath being very stout was not a primary concern for me. However, I did want it there, just mostly for authenticity's sake. I do plan on kind of altering this. I may alter this enough so that I can carry the Nessmuk knife on this and maybe keep my cat part on my hip or something. But that's pretty much what I got. Originally, a lot of these bullet pouches from the 1800s, 1850s, 1840s, 60s even, would have had a leather thong with a toggle on it that would have been the closure. Zippers were not introduced into the United States until sometime in the late 1890s, I believe, early 1900s. I know they were invented in Germany some point in the 1880s, I believe it was, or 1870s. I did all this research for this in the ditty bag. So snap closure, however, was not uncommon. Snaps were available. Buttons were far more common. Buttons and toggles were the more common closure system. Being a more modern pouch and being what I do with it, I decided to go with the snap closure. It's easier access, easier in and out. I was not truly going for 100% authenticity on this. It was just a piece of kit that I thought sounded like a fantastic idea, and I really wanted one to carry. So that's kind of where I went. Size-wise, it's kind of hard to tell. I know I'm a large mammal. It's probably palm size to me, which is 8 by 12, I would dare say, 8 by 10, somewhere in that ballpark. Doesn't really weigh a whole lot with everything I keep in here, and the knife on it is, with the knife on it, is probably a pound and a half, maybe 2 pounds. But very handy little piece of kit. I definitely understand why Nessmuk would have carried one, especially with the amount of hunting the man did. He said he would go out, but he did say that he would go out for an entire season with 12 bullets and come home with 12 bullets. So while he did a lot of hunting, he, in his later years, kind of shied away from it as much. So that's what I got. Check this out. I hope this answered some of your questions. I hope this is kind of what you were looking for. If there's anything more specific, if anybody wants to know anything else, hit me up, ask me in the comments. We do have the Facebook page and the Instagram as well, Heavy Hammer Bushcraft on both. So if you guys want to hit me up there, that's a fine place to do it. I'll definitely get your messages. And I think that's all I got for you for today. I usually will also keep a DC4 sharpening item in here for this as well, or for my other knives, just because it's a handy place to keep it and I know where it is. I gotta stop with that. I think that's all I have. There is a new video coming from the beginners series on Sunday. It will be posted Sunday morning. That covers our shelters from our overnight trip. It goes into a little bit of the detail on hammers, which is a much more basic shelter, and a little bit more on mine as well, which is a much more advanced bushcraft shelter. And I will be preparing another video. I'm going to try to stick to a Wednesday, Sunday schedule on this. So there will be a video like this one, hopefully on Wednesdays, and a video of either the two of us or one of us going over a beginner bushcraft lesson or thing rant on Sundays. That's kind of what I'm going for, kind of what me and Hammer have talked about, and we think that's going to work well. So that being said, yeah, I got nothing else. So hopefully that answered your questions. Check this out. If not, like I said, hit me up, ask me some more questions. I'll be glad to answer them. Y'all have a great day. See you in the woods.